Hi, everyone. So today I want to talk to you about manifestation. Okay, so if you haven't worked with me or you don't know who I am, my name is Karen. And today I want to talk around the topic of manifestation. So, the way we feel before and after trying to make the thing that we want happen for us, right? And how that can totally shape what's going to happen next for you. Okay, so the way we feel, um, and how we're feeling, those things totally shape our outcome. It shapes our day, it shapes what's going to happen next for us in the future. So I want to explore that a little more with you guys, okay? I think it's important to start with what manifestation is because I feel that a lot of people think, manifestation's only about praying for something and, waiting for God to just give it to you or, something real magical they might think as well. And those are fine, but it really has nothing to do with manifestation, okay? Um, Manifestation is more about, when you have those dreams or you have a plan or something that you want, right? And you make those steps towards the things that you want. So it is a very much doing process as well. Um, right? So you got to do the work to get the things that you want to achieve. And as you wait for the thing that you want, how you feel in that moment and how you feel as you wait for that thing is the manifestation, okay? So it's really our beliefs that we have towards the thing that we want, right? Towards the outcome of it, and how we feel, right? And where our focus is during this time, right? So that's a little bit about manifestation. So I think it's important to really truly understand it because I feel a lot of people just use that word and, they're really not too sure actually what manifestation is or the process of it. So hopefully this topic will help you understand a little bit more, okay? So yeah, the simplest way to think about it is how you feel your belief during the thing that you're trying to achieve, right? Or the thing that you want. Um, yeah. So there are two stages or states that I want to speak to you about regarding manifestation. So the first is pre-manifestation. So you can think of pre-manifestation as the beginning stage, right? Um, because this is where we really start to put together ideas or goals. Maybe you're imagining here, right? Daydreaming. So you're really building um, upon the things that you want to achieve, okay? And this time can be really exciting, but for some it might be nervous time as well, right? Because it's a time where you're not really sure what the outcome's going to be, right? Um, so it can be kind of scary as well for some people. Uh, but I believe this is the most powerful moment because the way we feel right now, right, is the most important thing on the earth because it's going to shape what's going to happen next for you, right? So I'll say that again because when I heard it, it really made me think differently as well. So the way we feel is the most important thing on the earth because it's going to shape what's going to happen next for us, right? It's going to shape your outcome. It's going to shape your day, your future. So I think this pre-manifestation stage is quite important, quite exciting as well. But like I said, it can be a scary moment for some because you really don't know what the outcome will be, right? So what you can do during this time to make it a little more, less nervous for you or overwhelming for you is gather your footsteps here, right? We call them footsteps. So we want to kind of make a connection of how we got to wanting this thing that we want, okay? So for some, maybe it may have been a powerful quote that we heard that really kind of drove us to this goal that we now have or wanting the thing that we want, right? For some, it could have been maybe a powerful conversation you had with someone, okay? So maybe that led you to wanting the thing that you are manifesting. Okay, so you want to make some connections here. You want to gather your footsteps, right? All the things throughout your life that might have kind of led you to wanting this or to achieving this, okay? Because when that scary moment comes up, or when those, nervous moments, unsureness comes up, you can hold on to that, right? You can refer back to that powerful quote or that strong conversation you had, right? To remind you of why you're manifesting on the thing that you are. Okay. So a powerful a moment there. The next one we have is post manifestation. So post manifestation is the next step. So before we go into this, another way that I like to explain these two steps is pre-manifestation. The first one we just spoke about. You can think of that as if, if you wanted a job, right? So to get that job, you're going to have to do the step. You need to do the work, right? You need to maybe freshen up your resume. Um, Maybe you're going to take some trainings that you need to get that job. Make some contacts, right, that you need to do. Uh, Whatever you need to do, you're going to do it in order to get that job, right? So that is the first step that we had spoke about. And then now is the post manifestation, the next step, where you're kind of waiting, right? So I like to call this the waiting period because you've done the work, right? You did everything that you need to do to get to this point. So now you're kind of like waiting. And this is a time where you can relax for sure. You can relax here, take a breath, right? You did all the hard work and now you're just waiting to hear the outcome. Okay. So that is exciting for some. But again, just like the other one, the pre-manifestation, uh, this can be scary as well, right? So also in the post-manifestation, it can be quite frustrating, scary for some people because they start to overthink, right? A lot of overthinking can happen here. Doubting can happen here. Okay, so you really want to be paying attention to any, we call them critter brains, negative thinking that can happen here. And that's why I find it's really important to have to work with someone, right? Work with a life coach, a counselor, someone who really understands these process that can help you when you start to feel those overthinkings, those doubtings, and really help you to stay focused during this time. Because it is easy to start doubting yourself, overthinking, and you don't want to do that, right? We don't want to be losing our peace in this moment, right? You made it so far to this. Um, you really don't want to lose your peace here, and it is easy to do that, okay? So be careful of those overthinking, doubting as you are in the waiting stage. And, you know, as I mentioned, working with a life coach, working with a counselor can really help this process, because it's also going to help you understand, right? When you work with someone who gets it, they can help you understand um, a little bit more about this. And by understanding more, you will get to have a sense of your energy, your mood, your mindset, right? Um, and how all of these can really shape your life and what's going to happen next, right? Um, for you. So, again, very important to have help when you need it. Um, and again, if you hold on to good feelings, right? So going back to maybe that powerful conversation or quote or whatever led you to wanting your um, this thing that you're manifesting. So holding on to positive feelings, right? That's going to allow your manifestation to a little bit flow more easily, okay? And you might even start seeing that things are like going your way once you start to do that. Okay. But once you start to, overthink or even try to make things happen, because once you get into that doubting and overthinking, what also can happen is you're starting to make things happen your way. And that's where you will see negative results, right? So you want to hold on to the positive as much as you can because that's going to make things flow more easier and open a, a chance for you, right? Open more doors for you. So very important there. If you need help during that time, get that help so you don't start slipping. Okay. Or slowing yourself down, slowing your process down, right? During this time. And something I like to share with my clients when we work around topics as such is letting them know, okay, that our job isn't to make it happen, right? Especially around manifestation. It's not to make it happen. What you want is to hold the vision, hold the trust, trust in the process. That is the key of manifestation. All right. So I think that's good here. I don't want to go a little bit too long into this. It's my first time kind of making a video for everybody. I normally just make videos for certain clients, whoever need it during their particular situation. So this is kind of my first video that's open for everybody. So I hope it's helpful around manifestation. I hope you understand a little bit better about it. And again, I am here to support you through anything that you have coming up, whether it's life challenges, difficulties, grief, family issues, um, anything that you find challenging. Okay, I am here to walk that path with you. And you can find me at Unique Minds Therapeutic Services, right? Or, yeah, so you can find me on Facebook. I hope to be able to, support you or your loved one through anything that you might be finding challenging. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful and you can look out for more in the future. Okay, thank you.